This is Rich, and he is currently working on another video about XRP. The topic of discussion for today is going to be XRP. Regardless of where in the world you are, I hope that everyone is having a wonderful day for themselves. The first thing I need to do is this. It is liquidity that will be the driving force behind the new global reserve currency. It is possible that the BRICS will usher in a new era in the world of finance if they are successful. Imagine for a moment that the rules of the mejor in Europe are making use of asset reference tokens. It appears that the rest of the world will begin to move in this direction as a result of the fact that the BRICS nations are going to back their new currency with gold and a basket of goods. Do you recall the instance in which the banks purchased all of that gold? In that direction, this was going to go. The arrival of money with a gold back is imminent. When additional funds are introduced into the system, the official revaluation of gold can be set at $10,000. Take a listen to this. To put it another way, the price of gold is always determined by the amount of money that is in circulation as well as the amount of debt that is present. According to this ratio, the price of gold has the potential to increase significantly. In the event that a more official plan is implemented to revalue gold and bring it back into circulation, it is possible that the value of gold will increase by even more than £10,000. What he meant to say was that it was more than $10,000 per ounce. With regard to XRP, I have always maintained that it is not necessary for it to be backed by gold if it alters the value of gold. And there will be a significant amount of money that is backed by gold moving around the world. Exactly that moment is drawing near. Even members of the Federal Reserve are aware of the fact that the Federal Reserve will cease to exist if we adopt a currency that is backed by gold, such as the dollar. As a result, the International Monetary Fund issued a warning that central banks and governments would have a significantly smaller amount of US dollars in their foreign reserves after the Federal Reserve has quietly stated that gold will replace the US dollar. As soon as a currency that is backed by gold is introduced to the market, the United States of America will immediately follow the lead of every other nation. This is what has the potential to cause the Federal Reserve to disappear. Imagine that the government were to introduce a brand new dollar that was backed by actual gold. If you could imagine how valuable things would be in the world we live in today, they would be. Imagine that you go to work today, which means that you receive a lower salary, but the value of those dollars is significantly higher. At the beginning of the BRICS summit, prominent lawmakers are promoting the idea that miners in Russia could sell their Bitcoin to buyers in other countries. To circumvent Western sanctions, these purchasers would then pay for imports with Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, thereby circumventing the sanctions. That is not a good thing because... Did you happen to be present when they discussed this matter? They are going to take action regarding this matter in the end. Bitcoin is likely going to be prohibited in the near future. That appears to be the path that we ought to take, due to the fact that this is the path that other nations will take. Having been elected, this individual is the Bitcoin Pope. Focus your attention on what he has to say. In the event that Bitcoin cannot be put to any productive use, you will never see $100 trillion flowing into it. That which the government desires. You have to raise your game to a higher level. It's possible that someone will require a Monero in order to maintain their anonymity. Because he is an investor in Bitcoin, he does not want you to have direct access to your keys. Earlier, I informed you that Michael Saylor would be undergoing a change. Whenever Michael Saylor announces that he is going to purchase a significant amount of Bitcoin, the price of Bitcoin drops. Given the amount of Bitcoin that he purchased, one would think that the price of Bitcoin would go up. Suddenly, he wants you to have faith in the government. He wants you to believe in it. In light of the current state of affairs, I have consistently maintained that Bitcoin is in direct competition with a CBDC. Either a CBDC will make Bitcoin extremely inexpensive so that no one wants it, or they will do something else to make it less valuable. Both of these options are possible when a CBDC comes into existence. In the alternative, they will simply make it illegal to use in these locations so that they do not have to compete with a CBDC. For the first time in the history of the world, Denmark has implemented a tax on cryptocurrency gains that have not yet been realized. Beginning on January 1st, 2026, the tax rate on unrealized capital gains will increase to 42%. All cryptocurrencies that were purchased after that date will be impacted by this. In addition to cryptocurrencies that date back to the Genesis block of Bitcoin, which was created in January of 2009. Put off the gloves, please. A war is being waged against crypto. Because of this, a great number of people will be forced to sell their cryptocurrency, and they will be forced to do so in order to cover the unrealized capital gains they have accumulated. What will the United States of America do next? They are already exerting pressure. I particularly like the concept of unrealized capital gains, even though it is the worst thing that could happen. That is something that could happen at any time. Spend some time contemplating the home that you intend to purchase. All right. If you bought your home many years ago, you will surprise yourself with a substantial tax bill all of a sudden. For the purpose of paying the taxes, it appears that you will be required to sell your home. I also believe that it brings us closer to the objective of you having no possessions at all. Have a good time and be happy. On the other hand, you should be aware that the tax on capital gains is currently being raised in every country. That's another thing to consider. It is one thing to have a greater amount of capital gains. The only time you would be required to pay for that is if you sold the asset. There is still the possibility of gaining capital gains even if you do not sell the item you own. And GBP accounts for individuals who conduct business in other countries. Additionally, we are aware that HSBC is collaborating with Ripple. As a result, they were able to develop a brand new virtual account service that is accessible to banks all over the world. Customers of their merchant business who conduct business on e-commerce websites are able to receive payments in euros and British pounds through their local bank accounts on account of this. What happens next is something that piques my interest. There is a good chance that we will hear more about this as time goes on. Even though it is still early, this is primarily for business owners. Customers who shop at retail establishments will also receive this in the end. For your information, this is VDVND News, and it is BFD. Aim to become the most advanced blockchain technology company in Asia by the year 2030. Vietnam will be informed of the steps that need to be taken in order to construct blockchain platforms, products, and services within the country by the strategy. The objective is to have 20 blockchain brands that are well known by the year 2025. In order to achieve their goal of improving the legal environment, they intend to construct infrastructure for blockchain technology and further develop human resources. Fostering the development of blockchain applications and research, as well as collaborating with other nations, are both important goals. It's going to be a huge deal. They are also involved with SBI. To add insult to injury, TPB Bank was the first financial institution in Vietnam to implement the joint Ripple Payments Network solution. Since 2021, they have been working together with Ripple on various projects.